Hi, my name is Nayan. This video is gonna be I was thinking second part in my I was thinking series, and it's gonna be about mental illness. And so my sister said that it's probably a good idea that it's probably worthwhile talking about mental illness and my experiences with mental illness, especially being psychotic or having psychosis, experiencing psychosis and depression. So I don't even know where to start on this video when it comes to mental illness. Um, okay, so firstly I'm on. Okay, so I think it was around about 17, 18 when I was about 16, 17 when I started having like some sort of depressive sort of experience, sort of like phase, and then it escalated into me becoming paranoid and not coming out of my home, which then escalated into me becoming psychotic. So I ended up going on olanzapine. So it was just like one thing after another in terms of that. And when I was 17, 18, like I didn't understand anything. My family didn't really. It was kind of hard for my family to like help me because even they didn't understand. And there's when it comes to like Gujaratis and Indians and Asians, there's like a cultural difference, especially if your parents are from like, I guess not even if you have to be Gujarati or Indian or Asian. I guess it's to do with like age difference as well, and difference in perception of what mental illness is. So I didn't necessarily get the help that I need, and I had to find help for myself, like seek out the doctors and trust the doctors. Because in that in it's something that I've sort of come across as an adult after trying to help other people with psychosis as well, which is like it's quite a prevalent thing in I guess in the Gujarati culture in the community in Leicester. I guess because when it comes to them, these when it comes to this type of when it comes to mental illness, especially for us, it's like we seek out priests and gurus and maharajas and we seek out religion because mental illness isn't mental illness. It's like superstition. It's to do with it's to do with like black magic and voodoo, and so you don't get that. I didn't really. So when it comes to trying to talk about mental illness with your family members, like your mom or your dad, or they're not gonna understand it. So yeah, so you kind of have to like find a look for it. So you kind of have to look for the help yourself. So, our first medication I was on was olanzapine, which is I was on for about 5 milligrams olanzapine. It's nothing because like the dosage can be 10 times higher or 100 times higher, I think. But I was basically like told that I was borderline psychotic, so I couldn't be put in hospital because I was just skating the threshold of what it is. So there's so many different components to what psychosis is, and I'm gonna have to like look into it, and I'm gonna have to try and um psychosis because psychosis is quite complex, and it's not just to do with hallucinations, which hallucinations are the main symptoms, which is like when a person sees and hears things, in some cases feels, smells, or tastes things that do not exist outside the mind but can feel very real to the person affected by them. A common hallucination is hearing voices. That's happened once. delusions, where a person has strong beliefs that are not shared by others. A common delusion is someone believing there's a conspiracy to harm them. The combinations of hallucinations and delusions can cause severe distress and a change in behavior. Experiencing the symptoms of psychosis is often referred to as having a psychotic episode. So this is on the NHS mental health website, but they only talk about the two main types of symptoms. They talk about self-harm and suicide. People with psychosis have a higher than average risk of self-harm and suicide. Yeah, so it's like the symptoms. Okay, let's see. The symptoms is quite hallucinations, confused and disturbed thinking, thoughts. So this is one of the main components of I think that's overlooked, which is becoming confused or not being able to filter out information correctly because you have a mental filter. Actually, yeah, because this is like in relation to another thing, which is to a comment on the Joe Biden video, and I said that I'll talk about what it's like to be what's the NHS like, and health services like in the UK. So, yeah, so I'll get onto that eventually. The other things about that is auditory hallucinations, or it's another thing that I don't think people take into account is sound. And sound is it's like a trigger for like stress and distress, especially if you're having an episode. So I was helping someone fill out a form for autism spectrum disorder. It's quite a bad form because it's 2021. It's like nearly 15 years old. The questions on that form were quite bad. It was outdated. But I had to explain to this person. One of the questions was like, are certain sounds painful to you? Do certain sounds or certain noises are they really cause like physical pain? So like that person didn't understand. So I had to explain to this person that when I was having an episode, so a sound is like, it was like having a piece of metal pushed inside your ear. So it was like if someone physically grabbed a screwdriver and shoved it into your ear. Like it was just, that's how painful it is. It's not something that words can actually do it justice, really, because you think it's just sound, it's just noise, it's not gonna hurt you. But when you have mental illness, or when you have like a disability like autism or Asperger's, something like that, noises can be extremely painful, really, really painful. I don't like, you have to experience it for yourself to see how painful it is. And so this was like the episode that I'm talking about that I had was, I'm 29, so it was 10 years ago, 11 years ago, yeah, when I was about 17, 18, which was when it was the first time I was experiencing any mental illness whatsoever. It was like completely new to me. I didn't understand what was going on. Family didn't understand what was going on. And it was like, it was, it's like, it kind of makes you wish that it was actually just a dream, like you were in a coma or something, and then you wake up and you find out that it was actually just a dream, like none of that shit actually happened, but it happened. I've also sort of noticed that there's sort of, I guess there's sort of like favoritism in a way in the Indian community when it comes to like mental illness. I don't think it is favoritism, but like I guess I guess it's like they don't want to put you on a mental health record sometimes, in my experience. And if you have parents that don't understand what mental illness is, don't understand it, because it's like a social thing as well. It's like I'd liken mental illness to like a social illness, because like it's not just an isolated thing. It affects everyone. So it affects your family, your friends. It affects everyone. Um, yeah, so that's part of psychosis. I've just touched on it. I've just grazed the surface on it, really. Um, but seek medical help, like Samaritans, A&E. That's all I can say, really. Like you need to get the help. Get the help. Ring them up. Walk to the hospital. Mm. The second thing that I was going to talk about was depression, because depression, when you have psychosis, or psychosis, it's not like you have it separately. It's like it's a part of something else. So for me, I go in and out of depression. Um, so how do I explain depression? I don't know how to explain depression, but you can tell that I'm having some sort of depressive symptoms at the minute, like extreme tiredness, not eating properly, not sleeping properly, not being able to concentrate properly. Those are parts of depression, I'd say. Um, Not being able to function daily properly as well. So, mm, yeah, I guess this is going to be like a part one, and it's going to be like a bit of a series on the I was thinking. So for this particular mental illness, because I wanted to talk about Jungian psychology as well, and like how it changed my perception of what mental illness is in some cases. But I'm gonna have to do that at another point. If you like this video, like it, share it, I guess. Comment, because I'll read your comments, and then what I like to do is I like people to comment on my videos, and I like to read the comments because it makes me think, and then I can make a video and then I'll read your comments out, and then I can do like I've acknowledged, not just like I've not ignored your comments. I've actually taken your comments seriously. So yeah, thank you.